We will bring in Wisconsin Senator and member of the Senate Committee on Homeland Security, Ron Johnson. Senator, thank you for making the time for us. You certainly have not held your tongue throughout this process, repeatedly calling attention to Mayorkas' refusal to enforce the law. Your response to the majority leader's hijacking of this impeachment process and not even giving the House managers an opportunity to make their case?
Hello, Tom. Well, I think the majority leader, I think Senate Democrats did great harm to the Constitution and to the U.S. Senate. The fact that we have a constitutional duty to try an impeachment. Now, it didn't have to be on the Senate floor. They could have assigned a special committee and comprised of primarily lawyers to hear the case, to find the facts, to really display that and highlight it for the American public. You know, it was infuriating having Secretary Mayorkas before our committee on Thursday. You might as well have had an automaton or a trained parrot for his lack of response. You know, his canned response was, well, I just deny the premise of your question. I asked him a pretty simple question. I laid out my chart, showed the undeniable reality of what he and President Biden and Democrats in Congress have done, opening up our border. And I just asked him, why did you do it? Why do you want an open border? Why did you cause this? Again, I just reject the premise of your question. So I went on and I asked him, based on all these crimes, Laken Riley, the rapes, the murders created by migrants that are in this country illegally because of his open border. I said, do you ever go to bed at night? Do you have any remorse? Do you understand that you're complicity in the aiding and abetting of these murders and rapes? I mean, and all he would say is, oh, all our hearts break. But he showed absolutely no remorse. He doesn't regret anything. This is their policy. And that's the most important thing for American people to realize is Democrats, Biden administration, they want an open border. They caused this problem. They can close the border. They have the authority, same authority that Trump used to close it, same authority that they used to open it up. They close it. They just simply don't want to.
When we talk about the fact that this individual who allegedly killed Laken Riley, that he was paroled inappropriately, he was released multiple times from custody inappropriately. If it's happened once, it's probably happened thousands and thousands of times. Senator, I want to shift gears with you here. You and Senator Tim Scott recently co-sponsored legislation that has garnered pretty wide bipartisan support from over 30 senators to a bill that would overturn a recently enacted rule by the Securities and Exchange Commission that mandates private corporations to disclose their environmental impact and what steps they are taking toward achieving so-called sustainability goals. Talk to us about why this is a priority.
Well, again, these are the kind of regulations that are a self-inflicted wound on the American economy. We want businesses creating good-paying jobs. We want businesses focusing on improving their products, improving their efficiency so the products they bring to us are higher quality and lower cost. We don't want businesses spending all their time complying with just stupid and irrelevant government regulations. And that's exactly what this is. Again, I realize Democrats are all about climate change alarmism, but it's absurd. We don't have enough electricity to power their concept of how many EV vehicles they want to force on Americans. Americans aren't buying the EV vehicles. They completely ignore the externalities, the child forced labor, mining cobalt in the Congo. I mean, all the copper we're going to have to mine. I mean, they just completely ignore the fact that it's not possible. Their green energy boondoggles are a fantasy. And this is just one more regulation that would increase costs for American businesses, make us less competitive, and probably reduce the number of jobs that are available to Americans.
Well, you and your colleagues are set to vote on multiple aid packages for Israel, Taiwan, Ukraine, along with potentially border security measures, sanctions for Russia, all of this stuff being debated in the lower house across the rotunda and is set to be voted on today. Tied together with that bill, it would force the sale of TikTok. This is obviously there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of very heated debate, even among Republicans in the House. Do you think anything that comes across from the House leadership has a chance of passage in the Senate? Or do you think that Democrats are interested in sort of preserving these issues for the November election?
Well, I think the fix is in when it comes to FISA reform. I think the fix is in when it comes to, $100 billion plus in war funding. Again, these completely separate issues, support for completely different wars in countries are going to all get lumped together in the Senate, and we'll get the one chance to vote up or down, basically. I kind of reject that type of process. We don't give the types of thought, we don't give the kind of debate to these issues that they really deserve. So I think it's unfortunate. At least the House, they get to vote on some of these things separately. We're not going to have that opportunity in the Senate. It just shows the dysfunction that is Washington, D.C. And of course, it's all last minute.